Hey Gemini, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique, bringing you your December energy forecast. So coming into December, of course, we are under the fire influence of Sagittarius season. Our minds are all over the place. Our energy is pretty stop and go. But what we are doing is we're trying to pluck out the silver linings from some of the struggles that we just endured. We're trying to focus on the future. We're really trying to open up our minds to process and understand some of the situations that already went down from a different spiritual understanding and a different set of eyes. So we have on December 3rd, Neptune finally going direct at 22 degrees in Pisces. And I love this for my Gemini friends because it's illuminating the 10th house. The 10th house is about career. It's about roles and responsibilities. It's about karma. It's also about finances, where the safety, security, stability, or lack thereof has been in those particular areas. The reason why I love this is because the last 5 months of Neptune being in a retrograde has been very harsh, has been very, very overwhelming. Many of my Gemini friends, they've lost their creativity, they've lost their spark, they've lost their last F, if you will. And now that Neptune is going direct, especially in this 10th house, the creativity is going to flow again. The interest is going to be there again. The curiosity is going to be coming back. You guys are going to be able to kind of shift the roles and responsibilities in your life around. You're going to be able to tap into new skills, new talents in order to create a new financial sense of safety and security for yourself. So I really think this is going to be a good type of energy. The Pisces energy in particular is very imaginative, very dreamy, connected to soul contracts as well. So where the 10th house is karmically in favor, we are going to see a lot of opportunities, maybe to, get some validation, some credentials, some advancement going on in the jobs, in the career sector. And of course, having the money matters flow in to support that. On December 6th, we have Mercury, your ruler, moving into Capricorn energy. Now, this probably is not going to feel so good. Anytime that your ruler is on the move, you do feel that very, very abrupt shift, especially in your energy, in your mental plane, in your inner narrative. Having moved into Capricorn energy, it's an earth energy, which Gemini energies don't particularly jive with. Why? Because it's low, it's slow. It's serious, it's somber, it's too focused on one thing, and there's not enough spice in life, not a lot of change, not a lot of stimulation. And that's why my Gemini friends don't particularly have a very positive time with Mercury being in Capricorn. Even more than that, it's highlighting your 8th house of death, rebirth, resurrection, transformation. And just a heads up for you, we have a lot of planetary action moving into this Capricorn energy this month, and all of it is going to be illuminating this 8th house of serious changes. What needs to die in order for new things to begin? What do you have to let go of in order to have the hand space to grab onto something new? Where are you rejuvenating yourself? Where are you regenerating yourself? Where is life kind of ending in order for you to create something better in its place? Now, because Mercury is the mental plane, is information, is communication, and how it is that you express yourself, there's likely going to be a lot of negative narratives that come up for acknowledgement in order for you to squash them and overwrite them with something better. Capricorn energy wants you to think long term about your goals and your ambitions. But right now, you're not really fired up. You're not really feeling so passionate. Hopefully, Neptune going direct in that 10th house will bring some of that spark back. But as far as your long-term goals go, it's probably going to be very hard for you to have that great big dream and great big vision just because there's so many elements changing in your life as of right now. Things are going to get even more intense for you on the 7th when we have the full moon take place in Gemini, in your sign, in your 1st house of self. So this is your halfway point in your natal year. We have to go back to your birthday and understand what it is that you had initiated, what it is that you had focused on, what it is that you wanted to bring to life back at that particular point in time that maybe didn't happen the way that you were hoping. Maybe life totally cluster effed you in the last 6 months. Whatever the case may be, you're at your halfway point. The full moon is a bright light shining on the changes that have taken place in who it is that you are, the identity that you have, how you present yourself into the world based off of the highs and lows that you just experienced over this last 6-month cycle. Even more than that, it's taking place at 16 degrees. Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, and our anger, is retrograde in Gemini, in your sign, at 16 degrees. So the full moon is teaming up with Mars, and let me just tell you, this could be an absolute boiling point, especially where conversations and communications are concerned. We've been biting our tongue on a lot of different topics and themes. We've been trying to, smooth things over. I don't know that we're going to be that lucky under this particular influence, as we are being encouraged, as it is a full moon, to release the anger, the frustration, the restlessness, the rage, if you will, that we have been trying to keep repressed within ourselves, mostly due to the karmic and, I'm going to say, divinely scripted spiritual life lessons that have been very tough and very heavily weighted on all of us, but especially for my Gemini friends, since your birthday. So this full moon is definitely going to alter how it is that you feel about yourself, how it is that you present yourself, how it is that you're changing up your physical looks, your physical identity, and your mental narrative. Now, on the 9th, we have Venus moving into Capricorn energy. Venus is the goddess of love and beauty and worth and pleasure and money. And she is moving into this earthy energy of Capricorn, which again is going to be highlighting your 8th house. What this suggests to me is that there is a level up taking place in your self-worth, in your self-value, in the relationship with yourself. There has been some pain, some trauma, some suffering that has altered who it is that you are. And instead of sitting in that dark hole for very much longer, you're about to boss bitch up and you're going to crawl your ass out of this dark pit and be empowered once again. This is death, rebirth, transformation. Now, flashback to this time last year, Venus moved into Capricorn. She actually went retrograde in Capricorn energy, again, in this 8th house, which would have set us up for a very powerful empowerment storyline that we began 2022 with. Not only is this a reflection back to this time last year, but this is a reminder of the pain, the trauma, and the suffering, and how it's been divinely scripted to push us into our place of power, into our place of authority, to take control over our lives. Because Venus is focused on worth and value, you're definitely going to be cutting the crap, getting rid of all the things that you've outgrown that aren't helping the cause at this point. You will be examining your personal relationships. Who is worthy of your time, your energy, your love, your attention, your effort, and those that are not can basically see themselves out. This is a huge focus on your finances, the attitude behind the financial situation that you're in. Again, when we get in the lack of or scarcity mindset, that only attracts lack of or scarcity situations to us. So there is this light bulb being flicked on, again, with Neptune going direct, having your creativity flow in, having new ideas come to you, unleashing a new confidence, a new trust within yourself that I think many of my Gemini friends will tap into old skills, old talents in order to bring them to the forefront, put them out in the world in order to create a little bit of a side hustle or a brand new income altogether. Venus being in Capricorn energy wants to think long term. But again, there's a lot of crap in the way. In the 8th house, we really do have to cut the crap, get that out of the way, see what we're left with, and then kind of focus on how we can breathe new life into what is left for us to build a brand new foundation, system, and structure upon for us to move forward with. On the 20th, we have Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, blessings, moving back into Aries energy. Now I got to take you back to May when Jupiter first moved into Aries. We were in Pisces energy for the last 2.5 years prior to that, back and forth between the Aquarius and Pisces energy, which was just part of this great awakening for us. And back in May, we had this, like, we were done. We were done with the emotions. We were done with the pain. We were done with the trauma. We wanted to move on. We wanted to reinvent ourselves. We wanted to jump into new cycles. We wanted to initiate a brand new chapter, brand new opportunities for ourselves. Problem is that Jupiter didn't get very far in that Aries energy before going retrograde, creeping back through those very beginning degrees of Aries, and then slipping back into Pisces energy. Now, we just had Jupiter go direct in Pisces energy on the new moon in Sag towards the end of November. And now that Jupiter will be re-entering into Aries energy, it's like we get a second chance, a redo, if you will. Now, this is going to be illuminating your 11th house. Your 11th house is about connections, friendships, networking, community. It's also about your vision, though, your dreams, your hopes, your wishes. It is essentially where we are shedding our skin from some of the restrictions and blockages of the past in order to be a little bit more independent and free to set our sights on new goals, new dreams that we actually want to get to work in manifesting. So having Jupiter, which is a very positive energy, in Aries energy, which is a fire energy, that if you are able to control your ideas and control your physical energy, will work very well for you in creating new opportunities for yourself. Pay attention to who enters into your realm around this time, because it is likely that you're meeting the right people at the right time to further your goals. And this is very karmic in nature as well. So, with Jupiter being in Aries, this is a rebranding, a re-identification of who it is that we now are, and putting ourselves out there in a new community, in a new network, in a new situation, and actually finding ourselves aligning with like-minded people, the right kinds of people to support our dreams, our objectives, our goals. So on the 21st, we have the sun moving out of Sagittarius energy, moving into Capricorn energy, triggering the winter solstice, and of course, adding to the emphasis and intensity around the 8th house of death and endings, of birth and beginnings, of damage, of destruction, of creation, and of course, creating a huge transformation in your life. So this period of time, being the winter solstice, is kind of pulling us out of the social scene, believe it or not, right before the holiday season, in order for us to be a little bit reflective on all that has taken place over this past year. Again, what needs to stay, what needs to go, what needs to end, what needs to die, what needs to be born, what needs to be created, especially in alignment now with who it is that you are, what it is that you desire to pursue from here, especially moving into a brand new year. And the sun in Capricorn just wants to shine a bright light on, your long-term goals, your long-term ambitions, what it is that you've learned from some past struggles, some past pain and trauma, and how you're going to integrate that particular life lesson into planning a little bit more for the future, making sure that we are righting the wrongs of the past. So again, this Capricorn energy doesn't feel good to my Gemini friends. It's a little bit too low and slow, but again, that's how we win the race. And having this Capricorn energy be serious and somber and a little bit nostalgic, especially in this 8th house of death, rebirth, and transformation, is going to be very much a pivotal point of change for you. Adding to this change, on the 23rd, we are going to have the new moon taking place in Capricorn at 1 degree again in this 8th house. And this is really setting the tone for the next 2 years. Reason being, is taking place at 1 degree. We just had the new moon in Sag take place at a 1 degree, which is a fresh, clean slate for us to build upon. And really focusing on what it is that we want to experience over this next 2-year cycle, where careers concerned, goals are concerned, finances are concerned, rebuilding, restructuring, reorganizing our physical lives are concerned. And of course, with the 8th house being on spotlight here with this Capricorn energy, it is about what is damaged, what has been destroyed, what needs to die, what needs to end, in order for there to be a fresh, clean slate, in order for new things to be birthed, to be created, to be manifested and brought to life. A true transformation of self, a true transformation of your physical realm. Also on the 23rd, we have Chiron, the wounded healer, going direct in Aries energy. This is illuminating your 11th house. So with Chiron being the wounded healer, yes, he illuminates the wounds that we're here to heal, but he also gives us the wisdom and the knowledge to heal said wounds. The last 5 or so months of him being retrograde in this Aries energy has definitely shown us where it is that we need to do a little bit more healing on our ego selves, on our identity. Many of us suffering through very painful spiritual life lessons that have totally altered who it is that we are. And because of that, we are re-identifying who it is that we are. We are rebranding ourselves. We are switching up our physical image, our inner realm. There's a lot of change. There's a lot of comings and goings. Now with Chiron going direct, we're going to be able to move forward. We have essentially reached the maximum capacity of healing certain wounds while Chiron was retrograde. And now we get to move forward with that healed sense of self and kind of initiate a brand new chapter and moving forward. The fact that this is taking place in the 11th house tells me that there's been a lot of change in the friendship dynamics, a lot of friendships lost while new friendships are forming. There's been a lot of change in the network, in the community that you have found yourself in. There's been a lot of change in your dreams, your aspirations, your ideas, your path moving forward. And for the past 5 months, I feel like my Gemini friends have been a little bit stunted out, a little bit blocked, a little bit wounded, if you will, from not knowing whether they're coming or going. And now with Chiron going direct, I feel like new energy will be moving into your realm. New people, like I said, with Jupiter moving into Aries in this 11th house, pay attention to who crosses your path, new like-minded people entering into your realm, new opportunities to push yourself forward, to push yourself into bigger opportunities where, meeting the right people at the right time to align with the kind of opportunities for your career, for your dreams, for your aspirations are concerned. The 11th house is very big, very visionary, very focused on the future. And because you've done such a lot of healing work over these past 5 months, I feel like you are definitely moving into brand new territory. The last thing that we have on the go here this month is on the 29th. It is Mercury, your ruler, going retrograde. Yes, that is right, my Gemini friends. Your ruler is deciding to go to the underworld to wrap up 2022 and to prepare for 2023. And yes, this is also in the 8th house for you. So Mercury going retrograde, typically speaking, turns your mind to mush, flips your ideas all around, makes it hard for you to trust your logical, practical, beautiful, brilliant mind because intuition has to come into play. And that might not be a favorable type of energy for you, but in this 8th house, there is a division that needs to take place. You do have to weed out the old in order to embrace the new. You do have to let go of certain topics and themes in order to have the space to pour into new energies being manifested in your realm. Because this is Capricorn energy, we're a little bit nostalgic. We're a little bit of a negative Nancy. We're a little bit, I'm going to say, of a Debbie Downer. And as we reflect back over this past year, recognizing what ended, what it kind of got damaged, what needed to die in order for new space, new life, new soul contracts, new life lessons to actually take form, we are going to be very, very deep in our mental plane, in our inner realm. Now, coming into 2023, we are going to shift our prospects to what it is that we want to build in the place of some of the voids that were left by the losses that we experienced over this past year. But we're also, not that I want to get too ahead of myself, but in January, we will have Mercury and Mars go direct in a very close window of time, which means that we are going to have our sights set on a logical, practical, strategic type of plan that is going to get us to where it is that we desire to be in a very short amount of time. We will have the mental focus. We will have the ideas. We will have the intellect backing the physical energy, the physical passion, the physical desire that Mars will unleash for us when Mars goes direct as well. So a couple of things to kind of leave you with to focus on as you move throughout the month of December. Things are going to get pretty nostalgic. Of course, emotionally speaking, we are running high. We're having a lot of changing of the tides, especially with Neptune going direct and Jupiter re-entering into Aries. I feel like this is a good time to kind of look back with the attitude of gratitude, even on the tougher topics and themes that you've had to experience in your life, because it has pushed you into a personal, I'm going to say, empowerment that you haven't had in a very long time. I know it can be sad. I know this is a time to kind of wrap up a lot of the grief, a lot of the depression that we may be feeling. I know that you may feel torn between the past, the present, the future. I know that you are not in alignment with your heart and your head, but I do feel that, especially with the full moon in Gemini helping you to release some of that pent up anger and aggression, you will find yourself more recalibrated, more in a realignment situation as you prepare to wrap up 2022 and, of course, dip your toe in 2023. I feel like there is a lot of information, a lot of details that you are going to get stuck on, especially when Mercury, your ruler, goes retrograde in Capricorn and really has us focused on the not so nice parts of our experiences over this past year. It is going to be a very difficult mental plane month for you, because I think that there's a lot of things that you've been avoiding thinking about. I think there's a lot of relationships that you've been avoiding having conversations in. I think that there's a lot of air that needs to kind of be cleansed and kind of aired out, if you will, before we jump into a brand new year. And I think that the holiday season and picking up on other people's energies and not being quite stable in your own mental plane and your own emotions may do an absolute number on you. But the important part is to acknowledge those thoughts and feelings and to really cleanse your system so that you can start on a fresh, clean slate, as clean as possible, moving into 2023, which of course is going to be a totally different path, a totally different direction, with new passions, new desires, new life lessons for you to pursue. So Gemini, that is all the information that I have for December. I hope that you have a beautiful month, a happy holiday season, regardless of how you choose to celebrate. I hope that you're gentle on yourself as you go through this very transformative process of cutting away the old and aligning with the new. And I hope that you give yourself a little bit of some me time in order to make sure that your thoughts and your feelings are yours to own. I'm sending you nothing but love, and we'll talk to you soon.